Hi, I'm George the Weather Dad, and it's time for your weekly planner. And there's a lot to talk about for this upcoming week. First and foremost, it's going to be the heat. That's going to be the big story across most of the country. Now, of course, those of you on the Rockies and down in California, what's left over from Hurricane Hilary is giving you a lot of clouds and a lot of rain, and so temperatures are going to be below normal there for you. But take a look at this heat dome in the central U.S. There will be heat advisories and even some heat excess warnings in place because temperatures certainly in the 90s, possibly into triple digits in a lot of locations, especially here in the Central Plains. Now, those of you in the Northeast, well, you're just again going to be below normal, and that's just not for tomorrow, for your Monday, but for the entire week as well. Now, as we work our way on Tuesday, notice what happens. This heat dome builds north as well as to the east. By Wednesday, it continues to expand towards the east. Now, we're starting to see some yellows up in the northern Great Lakes. That's because we have a little bit of energy up there producing some showers and some clouds, and it continues to keep the Northeast relatively cool as well. And on Thursday, again, you see the massive amount of heat that's out there. But by Friday, I want to point out for Ohio and Indiana, notice some cooler colors there. There's a little bit of energy, and it could give you some showers and some thunderstorms, which may give you a little bit of a reprieve from the heat in this area. But down in the southern U.S., it is still going to be extremely hot. In fact, notice temperatures starting to warm up even off towards the west. Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, this is what's left over from Hurricane Hilary. Notice it's going to go up and over this dome, but we have a lot of moisture down in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look at the tropics here real quick. You see a couple of areas of interest, one there and one right there. This is a large area of disturbed weather. A tropical depression most likely will be forming in this area, possibly a weak tropical storm, and I think that's about it. But this moisture will be pushing its way more towards the west than towards the northwest. So those of you in Houston will get some showers out of it. I think the bulk of the moisture, though, will be staying just down to your south. Another area of concern is right here. There will be something, I think, developing out of this cluster, but the motion on this one is going to be west and then towards the north. I think those of you in the Northeast, this would be the New England states. You may be seeing something later on in the week by Friday, Saturday with this system. It does bear watching. A few more systems are developing out in the Atlantic. There will be named storms, but I don't think they're going to affect us here in the U.S. By Tuesday, there's that precipitation, that moisture moving its way into South Texas. This is what's left of Hilary. There's that little bit of energy we talked about right around the Great Lakes, but most of us here will be just hot and dry. By Wednesday, that area moves a little bit towards the east, more towards the northeast. We have a little bit of energy working its way in the high plains, but that's basically about it. What's left of that system in the Gulf will also be pushing off towards the west. By Thursday, you can see that precipitation up in the northeast, and there's that little bit of energy. Could be producing some severe weather there in South Dakota. Now, by Friday, look what happens here in the Great Lakes and part of the Ohio Valley. That energy starts producing some clouds and some showers and thunderstorms. Could be giving us some relief for us here in Indiana and Ohio and portions of Kentucky and Pennsylvania. And there's that next system developing there in the central U.S. More moisture down in the Gulf of Mexico, but I don't think that's really going to develop. I think that's pretty much just going to push its way towards the south. Now, this is for next Friday. Saturday in the tropics, there's another system developing, but most of the activity, again, it looks like will be pushing its way up towards the northeast, leaving us alone, with the exception of that. Remember, I pointed out that area of disturbed weather in the Caribbean for us tomorrow. Well, I think it's going to move basically north. So those of you up in the New England states, watch out. You may have something significant by next Friday, Saturday of next week. That's your weekly planner. I'm George, the Weather Dad.